Alright, hello, it's day number 62 or 63 of my accountability to myself, and I really appreciate attention of those who watch it. And today we'll be covering all of my thoughts and everything that happened per day, so it might be a long video. That's why I will try to tell in a nutshell what happened per day and then move on to my thoughts, because I really have a lot of things that I want to mention about. First, today was, I would say, not really a regular day because I was studying for 7 hours, which is kind of decent result. But I woke up at 7:10, and I don't know why, but lately it feels so hard. In the morning, something wrong is going on. Like, I don't touch my phone, I don't do anything, but I have some thoughts that make me feel in not the best way, put it in this way, but never mind. So I started studying at 9:20. Yeah, like my morning routine took 2 hours today. 1 hour 30 minutes I was studying sellings. I went to the gym, I returned home, I was studying law for 1 hour 30 minutes, I was studying managerial accounting for 1 hour 30 minutes, I was studying French for 1 hour, English for 1 hour, and I was reading for 30 minutes. I read 4 pages in 30 minutes. I don't know, that's crazy. Reading in English is so slow. I calculated approximately it's gonna take 120 days to finish a book if I'm gonna read in the same pace. So hopefully I will start reading faster, because normally it takes 1 month to finish a book, and normally something is wrong today with my speech. Normally I literally read like 4 times faster, maybe 5. So yeah, I need to adjust to this, but I really like it. I like that I can process all the information that I'm reading about, and it's kind of cool. So I don't know, lots of information in front of my eyes. First, I was studying for 7 hours, which is really good. And tomorrow, like yesterday, I had a plan to study for 7 or 8 hours 2 days in a row. But tomorrow, I'm not really sure that it's a good idea. I would take something like rest. It's one of the topics that I would like to mention about, because today after the gym I went to buy some groceries, and I was in the center of the city, and I've seen lots of people because today is some kind of holiday, and a lot of people walk outside, and that's really great. And I would also spend this time just chilling, but there's one thing that I realized. For example, I'm not gonna judge anyone if someone likes to spend his time with friends, when you dedicate the whole day to your friends, to your family, or something. That's really great. But in my case, how I see this, sooner or later, but all right, it's a bit another topic. In my case, I don't see any reasons to indulge myself in some kind of rest, because in my case, I'm not going to meet up with anyone. I'm just, for example, lying on my bed and do some stupid stuff which doesn't make any sense. And I don't meet up with anyone because all of my close friends live in other countries, and in addition, nowadays we have a bit different aims in our lives. We take different actions, and even if I had had that opportunity to spend time with them, I wouldn't use it at full capacity. I would say, like, probably I would meet with my friends once per week, but no more. And here I just don't have those people with who I want to spend my time. I find my time as kind of valuable thing that I can invest in my future, and it's something. It's the only thing that my future depends on, because one of the things that I wrote down if you are unable to help yourself, why do you expect someone to save you? If it's so hard to cope only with yourself, why some people expect that there's a person who's going to cope with himself and come to you and help you? Like, what's the nonsense? It's not gonna work like this. The only person who genuinely can change something in his life, it's the person you can see in the mirror. And that's true. So in my case, probably I would take some days as day off, but it makes no sense because I don't have any people around with who I would like to spend lots of hours, because it just works like this. Everyone I know, everyone I got to know in university, I'm not judging anyone. It just works like this. We have different interests. We are interested in different things, and I find that my aims are not really aligned with their, and it makes no sense just to waste my time on something that won't bring me any profit, because it's hard to explain. But yeah, what I basically mean, for example, in 5 years, let's presuppose I will have family, I will have at least, not, if I won't have kids yet, I will have a girlfriend, I will have some circle of people with who I spend time, and I will have desire to spend time with them, and I won't have a desire to prioritize my working, studying to that extent as I do this today. So I'd rather spend this time I have today on studying, and I will gain as much as possible profits in order to have more free time in the future. I can see this approximately in this way, because the more I study, the more knowledge at least compounds in my mind. And it will definitely bring some kind of results. And as I see this, I will be ahead of some kind of people who don't study or don't work on themselves, or at least I will be able just to have a spike, some kind of blow or something that will allow me to, I don't know, like start my own business in a specific amount of time. Like, it's hard to explain, but never mind. Never mind. I don't know. This, I have a picture in my mind, and I'm trying to explain what I mean. But the more I explain, the more I confuse myself. So what I basically mean, if I have time today to study, I better spend it to study. And if I had some people with who I would like to spend time with, of course, I would adjust my schedule in that way to have some time to spend time with people with who I would like to spend time with. Something like this. Next thing. Yeah, one of the things that I would like to mention, I can really often hear from other people that I want to have that kind of car, I want to have that kind of apartment, I want to have millions of my bank account. But indeed, what really matters, if you would be provided with all of those money, if you was provided with all of those money today, you wouldn't be able to cope with them. You would spend them, you would waste them, and in 2 years, even, for example, if you had 1 million, probably in 2 years you wouldn't have them, and you wouldn't build something that brings you those millions, because you basically don't have those knowledge. You're not that kind of person who can cope with this amount of money. And that's the point, that when you become that kind of person who can afford himself McLaren, private jet or something, you just went through so much things that first you know how to make those money. Second, you know how to cope them. And third, you know the price of those money. Because you was growing up, you have not gotten all that amount of money suddenly. It was step by step, and yeah, eventually you know what it costs to you. So it's more even about what kind of person you become on the path to achieve all of the aims you have. And in my case, I have kind of the same perception. That's why I'm really in pursuit of studying, of enriching my mind, because I know that that kind of person who I am today, it's not the type of person who must be in 5 years to achieve all those goals I have. That's why every day it requires some work. It compounds one by one, step by step, and eventually, in 6 months, year, 2, 3 years, it gives some results, because the bottom line is that I don't need to do all this stuff today thinking, oh well, when it's gonna stop, it pisses me off and so on. It must be a style, it must be a way I live this life. Because moving out from this topic and moving on to another one, I would like to tell that I've never seen a millionaire who made 5 millions and said, alright, that's enough. Now I can work in a regular job to feel safe. What I want to say, how did I connect my last sentence of the previous topic and this sentence of a new topic that I want to start? When you become a new person, when you are adjusted to those circumstances when you know how to cope all of those problems, you don't need to go back. I've never seen a person who made, because today we can easily hear someone, if I had 5 millions, I wouldn't try hard to that extent. Bro, if you achieve that moment when you make 5 millions, you have no reasons to go back, because you know how to make those 5 millions and you can make even more millions. It never works in this way. So it's not like you're working hard for 1 year, you achieve something, and then you have this regress in one day to your previous life with all of those money, because you basically become another type of person. And that's probably one of the desires I have, to change somehow my identity during those 240 days. It's already been more than 60 days, and I can definitely say that there's definitely a difference between the person who was day one today, and I hope there will be even bigger difference in day 240. Basically, that's all. I guess that's all of the thoughts that I wanted to mention, and one of my just personal thoughts, personal desires that I have, I know that some of people who watch it are female, and it's not really applicable to them, I guess, because most of the things that I talk about is applicable to males, in my opinion, because as I see this, in the future, when I have wife, girlfriend, never mind, I don't see a case scenario when she's supposed to bring some money in family. Put it in this way. I see this as my obligation to be able to provide for everything my family. I mean, like, when I have kids, I will be obligated to provide them for everything. The same about, I don't know, never mind, we can call it whatever, like girlfriend, wife. Anyway, I will be obligated to provide them with everything. And the only thing I would want to see how my girlfriend or wife also is striving for something. It doesn't mean that she's supposed to make money. It means that she shouldn't just spend the whole day at home watching series. She can try something, whatever she wants. For example, just as an example to understand it better. For example, there's a month, there's this month, for example, I'm making $20,000. And what I want from her, she can take, for example, $5,000-$7,000 of them and spend for something. For example, start making podcasts. It always requires some investments, and it mustn't necessarily bring some feedback, not even feedback, some profit. It's just a desire to strive for something, to build something. Like, I don't know, today I faced some difficulties with explaining my thoughts, probably because I confuse myself, right? But what I basically mean that I see myself as a person who must be able to provide for everything, his family, his kids in the future. And that's the reason why I don't want to be weak. And weakness is every time when I might prioritize watching reels instead of studying, for example. It's every time when I allow some kind of addiction rise over my standards, which hasn't happened for a long time, for a couple of months exactly. Definitely. And it's just the way I want to keep myself in order to change my identity and to become that kind of person who can cope all the difficulties and who can make that amount of money that I want. And not gonna lie, my ambitions are pretty high, maybe over high, but who cares? And that's probably all. I forgot what I was talking about. I mean, I jumped from one thought to another one. I lost the link, and anyways, I guess I mentioned about everything I wanted. No, I didn't mention about one topic. Fuck. Alright, in a nutshell, probably I'm gonna mention about this the next time because I wrote it down in my notes as a topic that I'm not obligated, that I would like to reveal. And the topic is basically about your time investment. For example, a lot of people, I really see this around, a lot of I can see such things around when people says, I just want to chill, like I don't really want to try hard, I want to chill. It's self-pity, and I'm not gonna even mention about this that it's a weakness, but there's another thing. If you indulge yourself today, for example, today you have a choice. You can choose whether you are going through some difficulties, creating them on your own just to grow as a person, or you just chill, you spend this life with some engagement, and then in one moment just circumstances make you feel anxious because suddenly you don't have any special skills, you didn't improve none of your parts that you could apply, none of your parts in your mind that, for example, you could apply in work, and you're just a mediocre person and you're supposed to provide for your family, to pay bills and so on, and then you cannot allow yourself to chill because just by circumstances you are obligated to start doing something. but you cannot jump on a highest level because you cannot compete with those who have better skills, who have better knowledge, who are more confident, who have went through, who have gone through some kind of path that allows them to be higher than you. And you just stuck in a basic life when you are supposed to work for the whole day, and there's nothing wrong, that's totally fine. But what I mean, you cannot really grow as you had this opportunity being young, because when you are young you have lots of free time. But when you are working every day, it's respectful, it's great, but you cannot really study, you cannot really improve your skills in the same way. It becomes way harder. And when you was chilling the whole life, become that person who can work and at the same time create new identity, create a new person who can not just work but confidently rise. It's so hard. It's so hard, and normally people are unable to cope with that. That's why in my case I don't prioritize pleasure. It's just my treatment to this life that I've gotten recently, and it's not gonna lie, it's so hard. Really often I have this desire to give up, but at the same time I started questioning myself, what does it mean to give up? If you give up, you don't do anything. What's the reason? Even if you do something wrong, you do something, you are moving in some kind of direction. Even if you need to make some steps, and instead of step like this you do step like this, because it's not like this but like this. Anyway, you make a step toward, and you move toward. It's a messy step, but it's a step, and eventually you can come somewhere. Eventually it will bring some results, definitely more than if you just stay in the same position. I don't know, today I tried to express lots of thoughts. I don't think that it was really successfully, and I don't really want anyone to listen to all of those thoughts, because I express them kind of messy, and I express them first of all to pronounce out loud and to make myself think about them later, because I can easily forget about them. And if I pronounce them out loud, if I think about them and try to explain somehow, they stuck in my mind. And after the moment when they are stuck in my mind, I can think about them. So that's really great. Such a long video. And yeah, I'm going to sleep. Today, by the way, I wear something and it's so hot. I regret I put it on because it's so hot. Alright, that's all for today, and without being said, see you the next time.